se já falaram do Note, se realmente falaram do Note na maior amizade e na moral, acho que já é bom, tá ligado? Vai ser um bagulho bom, porque os caras sempre ignorou o Note não existe, tiraram tudo dele, pararam 4 e agora estão falando. Então eu quero dar uma olhada aqui. The Beginning, Part 1, 15 anos de Minecraft, rapaziada, que a gente vai ver aqui, ó. O início, parte 1, 15 anos de Minecraft, vamos lá. Legenda, não vou colocar dublado, rapaziada, é isso, tá? Não vou, tô de boa. Vambora. 2009, Aí, ó. A Swedish, um programador Swedish com o nome de Marcus Persson Notch se aventurou em criar um jogo sandbox enquanto ele não estava trabalhando, né? Em sua casa. Ele chamava o jogo de O Jogo da Caverna. Aí, já hype, já. In the first test video uploaded, he stated, "This is a very early test of Infiminer." Ih, o nome do jogo é Infiminer. Clone. É um clone, tá. É um clone do bagulho. Ó. Caralho. Não sabia, não.
Are you ready for the official release of Minecraft?
Vai, Note, vai. Tem que respeitar.
Hey.
We're gonna talk about the past.
I want you guys to react to whatever is on the screen. Just give us some context as to what we're seeing, and then you can just
See what happens.
Exciting.
Então eles vão reagir, os bagulho vai aparecer na tela. 2009, Early Access.
Oh wow. Grass.
Yeah.
Definitely Minecraft.
Yes, it definitely looks. But it's funny when you see these early clips of Minecraft.
Nossa, velho.
It both look.
Finalmente, né, mano? Ver a voz do cara sem aquela voz forçada de videozinho pra criança. Mano, não dá, velho. Eu não sei qual que é a pira da Mojang ficar forçando cada vez mais bagulho só pra criança, mano. O público é geral, pô. O público desse jogo é geral, cara. Pô. Eu sei que é muita criança, mas, pô, não precisa. Eu acho que conversar normal já tá bom, tá ligado?
Looks the same, but you can also see how different it is.
To be honest, when I played it, those first weeks, I didn't.
Essa daqui veio no Day One também, né? Ela veio Day One. Acho que a Agnes veio depois.
Really understand the magnitude of what I was seeing, because it was such a simple game and it was very indie. Like Marcus did it very quickly, and like the community back then was mostly other game developers.
Yeah.
It's quite a cute forum thread. I think where it still exists now, where kind of Notch put up the first version.
Yeah.
And you can see about 4 or 5 comments down, someone's like very proud. They're like, "Look, I've made a bridge," and it's just
So cool.
the most simple little object.
yeah.
But everyone's like, "Whoa, you can make a bridge in this game!"
When I met Notch in 2009, I just tried out Minecraft for like a couple of minutes, and I was like, what is this, like super low pixel density game? And it took me a while to understand the brilliance of Minecraft.
I've started
playing the
game and...
Mas muita gente foi difícil de entender. Como o Minecraft era brilhante, bonito e diferente. O início do Minecraft lá em 2011, quando eu comecei a jogar, 2010 eu acho, 2011, era o grandíssimo preconceito, jogo de gráfico merda, que as pessoas gostariam de ver jogos com alta qualidade, com FPS, com tiro, com gráficos em alto nível. Não um joguinho de quadradinho, tipo, com gráfico merda, tá ligado? Era um preconceito. Ele falava, é jogo de criança, jogo bosta. Só que a galera não via esse brilho. Eu já via, obviamente, porque eu era criança, né? Mas já via essa diferença no jogo, mano. Porque não era só a porra do gráfico, tá ligado? Todo o formato absurdo.
2010 and pretty quickly discovered, I think, that it's a game that wants to be modded, and it wasn't easy.
And a lot of our employees in the first couple of years were modders too.
Yeah.
When I was interviewed to start at Mojang, the game had sold around 300,000 copies or something. The date I actually started working, it was at 700,000 copies.
Ele veio depois
that
também.
was in December 2010.
Ela veio um pouquinho mais na frente. Né?
And just 2 months later, we celebrated like the first million sold.
Like, what is this video? It's bizarre.
I love that this was the first ever YouTube video.
I think Marcus was on vacation. And we just wanted to make something fun while he was out. Kaplan was filming that sequence with the snowball, and I was supposed to throw the snowball, and I kept missing.
I like how there's just some random cups and a glass in the corner, like no one bothered to look around.
No one picked them up out of the corner. Well, because in the early...
Não pegaram mesmo.
Look around.
No one picked them up out of the
strange.
corner. Well, because in the early days, I mean, the first office was just a converted apartment. So it's just like, it had previously been a house, like someone lived there.
Yeah.
And then it became an office. And really, they just brought in some desks.
Like the development of the game was very much, you had an idea and then you just made it. There was not so much planning.
Well, it was a lot simpler, but a little bit more, like I said, a little more yeehaw, kind of cowboy times.
Ó. Lançou, agora lançou.
The End the Dragon.
Yeah. Finally, there's an end to the game.
Yeah. People were super excited about the dragon and having a dragon. There's also been rumors about other dragons, but I haven't seen any. The Red Dragon? The Red Dragon, yeah.
Was this the update before you took over?
O dragão vermelho, mano. O dragão do Nether, o dragão vermelho. Nunca veio. Bagunça, mano. Os caras sabem de tudo. Você acha que os devs não olhavam o que a galera queria no jogo? Tudo. Os caras olhavam tudo, pô, nessa época, tudo. Até hoje, mano. Pô, podia ter colocado, né? Ah, mano.
Or the update
Os caras acabou de falar, mano.
you took over?
Yes.
Aí a gente ficava de pau duro quando tinha aquele mod lá do dragãozão lá. Não é o que é atual, é um outro. Não é do Fortnite, esse é um outro. A gente ficava, mano... Tinha uns que também era o mod do Ender Dragon com outras cores também. Muito antigo, mano. Porque todo mundo queria outro dragão, mano. Claro que olha, mano. Mano, o que eu sei sobre estar dentro de, né, em contato com muitos devs, mano, eles vê tudo, mano. Só que não rola. E também empresas de alto nível como essa não vai deixar ficar adicionando essas porra, tá ligado? Mas nessa época poderia, pô. Só era os mano. Seria legal se tivesse, sei lá, um boss no Nether, tá ligado?
In summer 2011 and early fall, it was the update in which we went back, in a sense, to where it all started, because one of the inspirations for, or actually two of the inspirations for Minecraft were Dwarf Fortress and Dungeon Master. And both of those two games are fantasy, traditional role-playing fantasy games. Well, the thing that comes to mind for me was actually the potion brewing system. I fiddled with that a lot. And I couldn't really get it the way I wanted it. I wanted it to be more experimental, like you were mixing and matching things and see like what potion will I get now. But in the end, it was just too complicated, so that's why we ended up with a potion system, which is more or less the same today. I know people would...
Caralho, ele ia fazer um bagulho mais federal, mano. Ia poder comprar poção. Será que daria pra, tipo, colocar Strength junto com Speed e, tipo... E, sei lá, Jump? Que era na época, não. É Strength, Speed e... Acho que era só esses, mano. E Health. Regeneration. Imagina aí, você joga, pá, combinava, ficaria, porra, fica chique. Mas ia ser muito AP, ia quebrar tudo.
Say it's fairly complicated, but it was way less complicated than what I was trying to do.
And it was introduced with the first official release of the game, right? In Las Vegas.
Truly been amazing to watch the process.
Pô, isso que é foda, né, cara? Pô, entendeu? Aí a gente mora do outro lado do mundo e não consegue ir. Podia ter feito um formato pra ganhar as capinhas, mano. Pelo menos, já? É, foda.
Good old Minecon.
Olha ela aí, ó. Tudo rosa.
The first ever Minecon.
My first question was like, why is it in Las Vegas? Which notoriously is not like the place you take a bunch
de
of
gente,
like
Las Vegas,
people, especially.
Por que tem que ser Las Vegas, um lugar onde é tipo a cidade de educação, a cidade que não é um lugar bom pra um público, tá ligado, criança? Então.
A lot of kids were coming in, and it was because that's where everyone on the team wanted to go, I think.
I believe this is probably most kids ever been at the casino in Vegas.
We were working with an event company who typically had like medical conventions. So they were like, don't worry, like once you sell the tickets, not everyone will come. No, it was like every seat was taken, every person who wanted to come. For me, I got to see like how much people loved Minecraft all in one place, where it was like an overwhelming amount of like from the tiniest like little kid with a sword and a helmet to adults who I had met online.
After we did the opening ceremony, and then people were meant to move to the first session of the day, everyone, because it's a lot of young people, they're running, they're like trampling each other on the escalators, and this company, they've never ever seen anything like it, and they didn't even know how to respond.
It really was like a very special thing, and it was this launch of the game, going from beta to 1.0.
It was fun that we had this whole plan, that we have this switch on stage, and Notch was just gonna flip this switch, and literally behind the stage, they were going live with it.
Não real. Nesse vídeo estão real falando do Notch na moral. De boa, mano. Será que isso daí é um aviso, mano? Hein? Será? Hã?
Yeah. So, you know, it wasn't high tech at all.
No.
It was more like, all right, listen for the cheer and click the button, and then we're live.
So Tobias was not on stage, one of the
Será? Hein?
back-end developers. There is, yeah. Clicking the button to go 1.0. Because I think we couldn't schedule stuff, so you had to do it live.
I was watching it online, and basically from the point that Marcus pulled the lever on stage, I was basically trying to get the update. Refreshing the download every second.
There were a few hiccups, but he eventually got it working.
Oh?
Hiccups.
Well, it didn't work.
We call when something doesn't work a hiccup, and then we figure it out.
We did the adventure update in 2011, and that was what we call a 1.0 release of the game. But obviously, we knew that we would continue updating Minecraft because there was so much left to do. And we still do often go back and look at things that we did in the past and see how can we improve them. And for the 1.9 release, which ended up being called the combat update.
Your favorite thing to talk about, combat.
Yeah.
Vou bater lento, pra estragar a porra do bagulho. Vamos, caralho. Puta que pariu. Deixava como tava. Não, tô brincando. É da hora. Eu curto os dois, eu curto pra caralho os dois.
Nathan, also known as Dinnerbone, he wanted to make the dragon fight both more interesting and actually a little bit harder.
The combat update was controversial. A lot of people had opinions about the combat and the charge up of the swinging of the sword and stuff like that.
I would say some of our players would argue if it's really an improvement.
Some people to this day are still playing 1.8 because they feel like that has the better combat. I was just reading a thread earlier today about the merits of one way or the other. And there's a lot of things that have been added since then, and it's a bummer to not get the old features, but I think it really speaks to how players want to customize their world and their settings and everything.
We also wanted to expand the end so you would get an additional reward for fighting the dragon. And we added the outer islands. The inspiration for the chorus plants was actually, again, Nathan, he was talking about bananas.
Perfect.
Yeah.
They look exactly the same.
They look exactly the same. No, but he said that bananas, they are not, well, I'm not an expert in this field, but bananas, they are not trees, they are plants. So they only give fruit once, and then you have to replant them.
Okay.
And I thought that was very interesting. So that's why the chorus plants, they give the seeds at the top, but you have to replant the whole thing in order to get new seeds.
The trading temples in 1.3.
Just wanted to add something extra for for players to find if they were like rewarding them for their exploration.
Esse é hype, hein, essa dungeon aí.
But also, both of them have
Esse
traps.
é épico, essa.
It might have been a little bit growing up with Indiana Jones.
Tá que pariu.
Temple of Doom.
É uma bosta, isso é uma bosta, cara.
A little more to
Essas
find,
as
because
dungeons
for
do Mine é uma
my play
merda, cara.
type as like adventurers, I just want to see stuff and like go and pillage it and then take everything good and run away.
I play as an explorer. I just go weird places and then I build a base and then I get lost and I build a new base. I basically go weird. I'm not
loyal.
Not loyal.
Não é leal à própria casa.
I still think like one of the things that still struck me is like when running around in Minecraft, like seeing the landscapes in front of you, and that was always like mesmerizing in itself.
Trading was a big thing because trading made villagers like so much more interesting. Like it gave them a reason for you to interact with them, and it gave you a reason to keep them around.
O Wither.
The Pretty Scary update. It's a good name. I didn't come up with that, but it's a good name.
It's named that way because we added both scary things, but also flower pots and such. So it was a bit of a mix.
The Wither was fun because it was kind of this like optional super boss.
Muito
Destroyer of worlds.
Pô, no hype foi foda.
Oh yeah, and I remember the trouble I got in on our server when I summoned it and nobody else was ready for it. So we lost half of our village and I needed to make amends later.
I wanted to have some kind of challenge to get the key ingredient to start constructing the beacon. So we invented this a creature that you would spawn yourself.
É da hora que o trailer é com os youtubers, né, mano?
Skeleton heads from the Wither skeleton, which was a new type of skeleton in the Nether. I'll admit that these days, if I'm going to spawn the Wither because I want to spawn it because I want to build the beacon, I use the various different tricks in order to minimize
the damage.
Vi muito vídeo de mano.
It's fine that this isn't the game designer's way, aka me.
Exactly.
I'll use the community's version of tricks.
Será que eles tiltam com o bagulho da cama?
Oh boy, I don't know what I'm doing.
Depois que mudaram?
I see the ingredients for a Wither.
Nothing has ever gone wrong when doing this.
Yeah, that didn't feel like 10 seconds. Oh, I wasn't even hitting W. I threw my sword!
Why would someone do this to me?
Not even sure how to approach this itself with the explosion, but
No, that cow. No! Right before our eyes. I think I died already. Did I already die?
If you show this to the community, I will get roasted.
Wait. I can eat a chicken.
When we introduced potions, we made eating a lot.
Eles estão jogando na versão.
What's the worst that could? Oh my goodness.
Is it?
The sheep you wanted to stay.
Oh no!
But if you're lucky, there's enough sheep around to distract it.
The sheep. Take the sheep. Don't take me.
Oh.
Minecraft.
Pô, os dev é muito bot, mano.
I have no recollection of doing this.
Pô, os dev é muito bot, cara.
What were you filming?
I shouldn't ever be breaking anything.
Acquisition time was it was confusing and like uncertain.
Calma aí.
Genuinely have no recollection of doing this.
What were you filming?
I shouldn't ever be breaking anything.
Acquisition time was it was confusing and like uncertain.
Esse eu quero ver. Ele ia falar no outro? Esse eu quero ver. Parte 2, rapaziada. Vambora.
Like, what is this video?
They're running, they're like trampling each other on the escalator.
There were a few hiccups.
Take everything good and run away.
Minecraft.
Essa música não, né, cara?
Genuinely have no recollection of doing
Deus! Tá diferente, hein? Nem parece, mano. Olha ele ali, ó. Pô, aí fica fazendo vozinha em vídeo agora. Impressionante.
I have no recollection of doing this, but since I'm on camera, I assume that I did. I can't deny that I did it.
What were you filming? What's this for? Do you remember?
I think this might have been from when we did the Mojang Cribs. Like, it was a tour of the studio.
Like, we were all so excited. We just moved into this big office that felt, felt more like an office because our first space was this converted apartment. We've grown.
Caralho! Ganhou uma grana mesmo, hein? Tá porra! Yo!
I mean,
chique, mano.
Felt more
Eu
like
sei que são eles, mas olha isso, velho. Um monte de prêmio. Tá porra, prêmio pra porra, mano. Caralho!
office because our first space was this converted apartment. We've grown at this point, so it's like you still know everyone. We still all knew each other, but you're becoming a bit bigger.
Yeah, I think it was still a little bit the same, like this very family feeling. Whenever everyone had a birthday, we would all sing together. Like every birthday was celebrated, and we did like most things.
Como é o headset, Jebzão?
It was celebrated.
Entendi.
And we did like most things together. But of course, as you mentioned, like we're also starting to have many more projects, and not everyone knew what everyone else was doing.
That was our web team right there.
Yes, that's the entire web
Chris
team.
and Tobias.
2 people.
I think someone visited the office. I'm trying to think who it was. Maybe it was even Phil Spencer later on, but he was like, "So where's the web team?" And it was like, there, those guys.
Those 2 people right there.
When I got to this office, I felt like I was there all, like it was just like I would come in, but there was never an end. There was never an end leaving time.
Que
you just
bonito lugar,
stayed.
velho.
I think at that time, barely anyone had kids.
No.
So it was really just, I mean, we would have dinner, we would keep working, we would mess around with projects, we would hang out, we would, you know,
Aí teve família,
party.
acabou.
It was just like a, its own world.
Yeah, and I would frequently be there on weekends as well.
Exactly. Well, I was gonna say.
Always someone else.
I remember going there one weekend and watching the Godfather trilogy.
Ele mudou isso daí, hein? Olha ele aqui, olha como ele era. Ele mudou pra porra, mané. Caralho. Cê é louco.
The Godfather trilogy in the cinema on my own.
All by yourself.
And it was one of the greatest days I've ever had. I was just sitting back, watching it for like 12 hours. It was wonderful.
Music was playing all the time.
All the time.
I thought that was annoying because I was having calls and I had to run into a meeting room.
Those were nice though. Those exhibition
trophy
things.
rooms?
around.
The trophy
trophy
shows?
things. Yeah.
I remember specifically the widescreen award that we had widescreen support, so we got an award for having wide.
That's good.
But we also had so many players, like a big community.
Os caras ganhou um award por widescreen, suporte pro widescreen. Como assim, velho? Os caras ganhou um prêmio por ter suporte de widescreen no jogo. Não é possível. Isso é sério, isso existe, pô. Não é possível, pera aí, eu preciso ver isso. Não acho, velho. Não acho. Como assim, mano? Ah, eu tô impressionado, velho. Prêmio widescreen.
The widescreen award that we had widescreen support, so we got an award for having wide.
That's good.
But we also had so many players, like a big community cheering us on. So we kept like tweeting to them or writing on Reddit, like it was ongoing conversation with the players, and that was also like what kept us.
You wanted to do, you're like, oh, if I just finish this thing, then someone will be like really excited about it.
Exactly,
That's true.
Exactly.
So I think it was a tradition that every developer has to break a build or make something broken at least once to get like initiated properly.
Yeah.
And within the first month or so, I accidentally uploaded a file to the wrong folder and people in the world couldn't play for like 20 minutes before we fixed it again.
Yeah, and I'm not a developer, so I shouldn't ever be breaking anything.
Yeah.
But I was uploading a news post and put like a period in the wrong place and in some JSON, or I didn't close a bracket or something like that. I just broke the launcher.
Caralho. Redstone update.
Redstone.
Yeah.
I mean, Redstone changed the game for a lot of people. Not for everyone. Which is one of the great things about Minecraft updates. After most updates, you can continue to play as though nothing ever changed. But for a lot of people, Redstone just opened everything, because this is when engineering became a thing in Minecraft.
Yeah, I remember
engineer.
uni builds and seeing what people were doing with Redstone was kind of amazing.
I do a little bit of Redstone, but not nearly as advanced as the community can do it. So
The community has built a working computer in Minecraft using Redstone.
Yeah.
The working computer was the most impressive one for me.
Yeah.
Because that was just as far as the eye could see. It was like you were inside of a computer and seeing all the component parts there. And that was really impressive.
Change the world.
The update that changed the world, or Minecraft 1.7.
It literally changed the world. I think if people wanted to get terrain changes, or it was like, okay, well, we have to do this kind of all at once, because if you update the world every update, then people's terrain gets a little bit weird.
That's also why the last time we did updates with Caves and Cliffs, we put a lot of tech into place to make it easier in the future if we add new biomes or new world generation to blend in with the existing things.
Coming across, my favorites are the big mushrooms, because I just think they're so fun to find. Yeah, I love this update.
I try to avoid
Eu adoro os bagulho mais
snowy
simplão,
biomes because it's just so annoying.
to have to take off the no, I don't mess with that either.
Yeah.
Taking off the snow is too long.
Yeah.
Ah, o do água.
Ocean Monument.
Yeah, this was cool because this gave a whole... I mean, it gave the world literal depth, but it gave a reason for you to explore underwater.
The Bountiful updates, we named it that way because it had so many different things.
Our naming is always funny that way.
I knew I wanted it to look kind of like a underwater pyramid with chambers inside, and I spent a lot of time figuring out how to generate that three-dimensional maze through that pyramid.
We also introduced the tvättsvamp. Sponge. Which made these really fun as puzzles to kind of restaurate.
Yeah, this was just such a different feel. It was like this kind of alien vibe to it.
I added the Elder Guardians, which is a bigger and stronger version of the Guardians. That also would give you this effect that made you break blocks very, very slowly to encourage you to actually go through the maze instead of just digging through it.
O efeito é chato pra caramba.
You're like, hey, I know you're gonna play however you want, but let's try. I'm gonna try.
Now it's the designer. The designer is designing now. You have to play according to the design.
Não! Not vai embora.
The acquisition time was it was confusing and like uncertain. Like we didn't really know what to expect. Like would they close down the studio? What kind of expectations would they bring in? Like, did we need to change the way we were working and so forth?
We got really suspicious because Carl asked Karin for some financial reports.
Okay.
And we were like, wait, you're asking for financial reports? There can only be one reason. You're selling the company. And then his face told me everything.
Well, I think that's what happens when your decisions are scrutinized by millions of people whom they feel like they have a personal connection with you. Honestly, that's a lot of pressure to deal with.
I became actually really, really sad because I thought it felt weird that they would just sell off the whole company.
Like, I remember having meetings with developers and everyone in the golden room, basically like, how do we do this? How do we mitigate this? How do we move on and make this work?
But in truth, I mean, for the first maybe year and a half, I think we barely had any interaction, really.
Yeah, it was very hands-off.
It was very hands-off, and I think Microsoft kind of wanted to learn what Minecraft was about.
So for me, even though it felt scary and it was very difficult to merge like so many different, we had Swedish culture and American culture, we had independent and corporate. I mean, it was almost like, let's take everything opposite and put it together. And so I think there's just challenges that come through that. But to me, what really felt the best about the acquisition is that I knew that Microsoft's goal was to continue making Minecraft bigger, but also we could focus on things like Minecraft education and like making the world a better place. No. And that was something that I think was meaningful to a lot of us.
We had so many like good ideas that we couldn't, like we were simply too small to take them on. So it gave the opportunity to really expand and use Minecraft to do more and good things.
Fala a verdade logo, pô.
It also meant like we were finally growing up, I think. And I think we would have been forced to do that regardless, because it was not really like sustainable for the company or even for the game. So it was a step for us to take Minecraft a little bit more seriously, I'd say.
Lots of big things happening at the same time in my life.
Oh, llamas.
After Never update, I think this is my favorite update.
So serene.
How hard could it be? And Jens was like shaking his head.
Like,
this is way
isso?
Too much.
Acabou. Essa música é boa. Acabou? É esse? Não. Fuck. Tá bom, a gente vê no próximo dia. Legal, interessante esses vídeos, cara. Eu curti. Chique, chique. Bem chique, chique baiano. É inegável. É bem chique, chique baiano.